what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
To the playoffs. Welcome to the Fantasy Formula, episode 14, volume 2. Let us introduce our starting lineup for today's final episode of the year. Ad Rock, are you ready for it?
Let's do this, baby.
In the little room over there, in the four-corner room, staring at candles, he's Chris Magic Hands Fry, sound engineer extraordinaire. To my right, playoff bound for the first time in 14 years, he's Addison Houday Fox. And last but not least, the man with a plan. He's Chad, the Hitman East. Let's give it up. Addison's effects. Oh, that's horrendous. Man, what a weekend,
yes,
Ad Rock. What a weekend.
Fantastic.
I'm so excited to hear about how your team did. I'm sure the audience is ready to hear how your team did last weekend, my friend.
All right, it was fantastic. G-Man All-Stars came through. And with flying colors, ladies and gentlemen, with flying colors, put up a week high, 166. Fantastic. My team is peaking just at the right point, just like I planned it all year. Heading to the playoffs with a great first-round matchup with one of the weakest teams in the league.
Who are you talking about?
That would be you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Who went, Chad, I want to give you some condolences because I know this really hurt. Please enlighten how in our league how the demise of Brad Inner dunk contest finished.
It's tough weekend for the kid. Before we get going, I will tell you I was in 3 leagues. I made the playoffs in all 3 leagues.
Fantastic, good job.
Division champ in one, second place in another, and 5th spot in the other. So I'm in. That's good.
That's fantastic.
That's good news. Now on the the bad part of things here. Division leader gets a little bit of money in a league that we're together in Addison, and all I needed to do was beat the last place team to clinch it. You know, beat the last place team, last game of the regular season.
So basically, be a clutch performer. Okay,
right.
Continue.
You know, just finish strong. All I need is finish strong. My man has to start Dexter. This is who I'm playing against. Is John
Dexter
McCluster. And Golden Tate. Golden Tate, who's caught 1 touchdown all year. Golden Tate decides to have a career game, goes for 2 touchdowns and 100+. Everybody else on his team, T.Y. Hilton gets 18.
I was watching 18. Chad, and I'm gonna have to say I was cheering loudly. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it out loud.
So to end the story, I lose 127 to 126 to lose the division championship.
And go from first to 4th in the playoff seeding, where you have to face the hottest team in the Get Off the Mic League.
Addison, yes, it's going to be a showdown.
The hottest team. Last week, 130. This week, 166. I'm peaking, Chad. I'm peaking. And I'm going to talk so much smack because we're not on air next week, so nobody's going to really know how if I win or lose, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
So let's get to the really important things. Last week, or the other week, when we had the draft, Chad, you do your synopsis of all the teams, and you looked at it, you said non-playoff team, playoff team, non-playoff team, playoff team. And so we got to my team, and I'm sitting there, Chad, how can this team not be a playoff team? It is stellar. It is absolutely stellar. Mm-hmm. I mean, Turner has turned into a touchdown hog. Not a lot of yards, but good solid points every week. Well, not every week, but he's turned into a decent. He's better than some other first round picks this year. He's performed better. And so, you know what? Chad was like, you know what, Addison, I will give you $20 if you make the playoffs. But if you don't, I'll give you $20. I'm like, Chad, that's a bet. Show me the money.
Addison, I always come through on my bets.
Yes.
I always do.
I'm waiting, ladies and gentlemen.
As a respectable man,
That's right. That's right.
If I bet and
That's right.
I expect to get paid.
That's right.
If I lose, I expect to pay.
Oh, that's right.
Man,
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm picking up what you're putting
So,
down.
Addison, what I'm giving you at this moment,
Is
Magic Hands can confirm this. This is a slip of paper that says, I owe you $20, okay? That is as good as gold, Ad Rock. As good as gold.
Are you kidding me?
Man, I left my wallet in the car.
Did you really just hand me a piece of paper that looks like your daughter wrote, literally, I owe you $20? And you didn't sign it. Here, sign it. At least I know it's
I will
legitimate.
initial it. All right, buddy. This is as good as gold.
God,
you can
you're
take
so-
if you wanted to take this to the bank and give it to the lady, they'd be like, Chatties, yeah, I will
Is the
give
printing
you
business
$20.
that bad, or you
I will
handing me
give
a
you
scrap of
$20.
paper?
Chatties, as good as gold. Ad Rock, man, exciting. We're going to go at each other this weekend. Can't wait. Good luck to you. May the best man win. And with that being said, brother,
Let's roll into it,
you
baby.
ready?
Let's do it.
Fantasy 45, fastest 45 seconds
do it.
in fantasy football, the last one for the year. So let's make it special. Here we go. Thursday night clash, Ad Rock, 8:25 kick. We're going to Oakland. Those Oakland Raiders face the Denver Broncos, who won, I think, 7 in a row.
Oh, Denver's, wow.
Unbelievable. They're probably playing the best football of any team in the NFL right now. Oakland reeling. Here's a question I'm going to throw at you right now because
Shoot.
I'm going to have to address this in one of my leagues.
Shoot.
Marcel Reese has replaced Darren McFadden. Darren McFadden been out for a while. Mike Goodson out for a while. They say McFadden going to be back in the lineup this weekend. Would you risk, this is playoff football here, Addison. This is playoff fantasy football. Would you risk putting McFadden in right now? Would you risk it, first of all?
Absolutely not.
Wow, you would not put him in.
No.
He's everyone's first round pick.
You're right.
Ready to play.
This done absolutely nothing. Chad, here we go on this
All right.
professionalism. We just started the last episode. Now you...
Darren, hey, yeah, man. We were just talking about you, to be quite honest. Yeah. Start you. That's what I'm going to do anyway. We won't listen to Ad Rock. I will start
he's
you,
talking
Darren McFadden.
Darren McFadden,
Be cool.
ladies and gentlemen.
Later,
Okay.
Later. Good luck this week. All right, bye. All right, guys, that was McFadden, and he said, put me in, coach. So, Ad Rock, I think I will put Darren McFadden into the lineup. It's very risky. Vic Ballard or Darren McFadden, if you had to put the two. Vic Ballard or Darren McFadden?
I'm not going to decide who your starting lineup is next. I know you have Vic Ballard going against me this week. So
No,
Vic
I'm just
Vic
throwing
Ballard, for the
scenarios
first
for our
time, he
listeners.
finally got into a touchdown. He finally got into the end zone this past weekend. First touchdown.
Just
Honestly, right now,
serious.
the way Indianapolis is playing, I would start Vic Ballard.
Fred Jackson, Darren McFadden.
Fred Jackson. Even as a number 2, because the last 2 weeks, Fred Jackson has he's got some garbage numbers, but he's put up numbers. 17 points last week, and I think the week before last he had 25.
Mikael LaShore, Darren McFadden.
Mikael LaShore.
Steven Jackson, Darren McFadden.
That's Steven Jackson.
No.
I'm not picking Darren McFadden.
I'm going to give Beanie Wells, Darren McFadden. Who do you start?
Oh, dude, you had to throw that at me, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm up against here. I mean, this is a big
Okay,
call.
you know
It's
what?
a
No,
big
all
call.
right, Beanie. Look, Beanie.
You go, Beanie?
This is
Oh,
all right,
no.
Beanie. I'm talking to you.
Okay.
This is you and me.
Beanie.
It's me, you, and I think I'm gonna stick with you, my man. I'm gonna go with Beanie Wells.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why Addison Fox will not move on in the playoffs this year, is because he would put Beanie Wells in front of Darren McFadden.
Is Darren McFadden? Is he playing?
He's playing. They said anywhere from 10 to 20 carries is what they're projecting him getting. So,
All right, so if he
I say
gets
you
10
gotta put him
carries, 10 carries. All right, and you have Carson Palmer who's throwing the piss out of the ball right now. And you got Marcel Reese, who, granted his numbers, he's got 261 on the year. He's averaged almost 5 yards a carry. I don't know. I'm not doing it. I'm not going. My gut has been fairly good this year, even though it's large and
Your
charged.
gut, yes, it is very.
But
very
my
large.
gut feelings have been very good this year, just because I eat a lot. But I'm going with no. I'm
Okay.
not going there.
Well, tell me what your big gut says about this one. Denver minus the 10 on the road at Oakland, 51 over under. Go ahead.
Denver's is on fire right now. I'm not betting anything against Denver. Plain and simple. I can't believe that I'm going to say this, but No Shot Moreno could have a heyday. against this Oakland defense.
I agree.
I mean, absolute headache. And I think you could see, I know some people picked up Ronnie Hillman, but I think Noshawn's getting most of the carries. Mm-hmm. He didn't do much last week. I think he had 11 points or so. But I'm thinking Noshawn's going to have a good game.
Yep, I agree. Denver, you can't go against them right now. Hottest team in the league, -10. Lay it over. Take it over 51. Eric Decker, Demarius Thomas, Peyton Manning, huge days. I kind of see a shootout
Brandon
in this
Stokely.
game. He might be hurt, but Jacob Tammy even is getting some looks from Peyton right now. Everybody on Denver start. I will start Darren McFadden. It is very risky, but the upside is too huge for me to pass up. So let's go. Denver -10, over the total 51, and start everybody in this ballgame. Next up, Ad Rock, here we go. We're going to Washington, D.C., where the Redskins on fire right now. RG3 continues to light up the scoreboard.
Unbelievable. Did you see the Sports Center show? They had the top 10. It's a rookie year, and they've already had a top 10 RG3 plays for the year.
He makes a couple unbelievable plays a game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, last week for RG3, 13 for 21, $163 through the air and a touchdown. Not tremendous numbers through the air, but the thing is with RG3, fantasy-wise, he's going to get you 50 to 75 yards on the ground. He just is a complete fantasy football player.
Will Robert Griffin rush for 1,000 yards?
How many yards do you have right now?
714.
Got 5 games to go. Yes, I say he does. I say he rushes for 1,000 yards. Okay. And if you can get a 1,000-yard rusher out of your quarterback in fantasy football, wow, that gets you into the playoffs and gets you a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, it would. I mean, Jay Caldwell set him on the bench over Matt Ryan. Even though, Matt Ryan's put up. Him and Matt Ryan are teetering back and forth on fantasy points right now.
Really?
But I don't know. I'd put Robert. This is more exciting. I don't know.
I got to start RG3. On the ground, Alfred Morris continues to be a fantastic rookie find for the Skins. 22 carries, $124.
1,100 yards for the rookie.
Dude, very, very nice game. And Pierre Garçon, Pierre Wee, 8 for $106 and a touchdown.
Oh, that's your brother's favorite person right now. Poor Jeremy.
Go ahead and tell the story. We'll say
my Lord. Wee Garçon caught the reception just. Jeremy thought he had it.
To go over 100 yards.
It went over 100 yards. He lost the bonus point. Got the bonus point, the 5 bonus points for a 100-yard game, and out of the playoffs.
Out of the playoffs. Pierre Garçon's final catch to go over 100 yards. Boots my brother from the playoffs. Tough loss, my friend. You'll be back next year. These Washington Redskins will take on the Baltimore Ravens. Last week for the Ravens, Flacco continues to struggle fantasy-wise, 188 and a touchdown. My guy at the beginning of the year, who I thought would have a great fantasy year, has really struggled. Ray Rice, everybody's number 2 running back, 12 for 78 and a touchdown. Ray Rice, draftees or whoever drafted Ray Rice at the beginning of the year, they've got to be disappointed with his turnout for the year. It's okay, but not
900, roughly close to 900 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's been. They've been giving Pierce some carries, and that's taken away from the production. I mean, Pierce has got 250 and a touchdown for the year, but I mean that's over like a 2-3 game stretch. Ray Rice showed up a little bit last week. He did. You saw some Ray Rice.
78. He had one big nice run. That was.
But I mean,
nice,
for the little Ray kind of fizzling out.
Dude, look what's happened here. Vegas opened this line as a pick'em. Washington has a pick'em over Baltimore. Now Washington is a 3-point favorite against the 9-3 Ravens at home. Over under 47.
Did I hear you right? Did you say Washington's a 3-point favorite? Are you serious?
I am dead serious. Over the 9-3 Ravens.
Well, all right, look at this. I'll give some stats here real quick. I'll tell you what. This is gonna be. What's the line? What's the total?
47.
Oh, I'm going way over the total on this one. Way over the total.
I'm with you, Addison. I think Washington will continue this hot streak, get it done against a reeling Baltimore team, and I think that there will be a ton of points, fantasy and real points in this game. If you got them, you got to start Morris, got to start RG3. Wee Garçon is RG3's go-to guy. He could be your wide receiver 1 or even a flex play this week. And for Baltimore, Ray Rice is a must-start. I'm even thinking on your Torrey Smith guy, he got a little banged up last week, but against Washington secondary, he could have a field day.
Yeah,
he could have a field day. So let's go over the total 47 and Washington in a close game against the Ravens, -3. Next up, brother, this game won't spend much time because we'll call this one Doo-Doo Bowl Part 2.
Steelers and who?
No, this is Kansas City
my bad.
at Cleveland. And, man, the story at Kansas City right now is such a sad story. I heard some reports that the fella that shot his girlfriend and then took his own life actually had been working with some counselors at Kansas City the whole year to work on issues he was having. So this story just continues to get worse. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Kansas City Chiefs and all their fans and their families there. They will be traveling to Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns, hey, man, this Whedon dude can play a little bit. Cleveland Browns they're pretty competitive. They win last week 20-17 against the Raiders. Whedon 364 and a touchdown. Trent Richardson on the ground 20 for 72 and a touch. And Josh Gordon, we called it here week 3, I think it was. You gotta pick him up and start him. 6 receptions, $116 and a touchdown. We'll be playing host to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, playing on strict emotion last week, beat the Carolina Panthers.
How did that happen?
Dude, they played on. Everybody was crying basically the whole game. I don't know if you watched any of it, but
yeah, I watched part of it because
fans were crying.
I picked up. I was picking Carolina to win.
Tough loss. Brady Quinn, Mr. GQ himself, 201 and 2 touchdowns. That was the Chiefs' first touchdown, I want to say, in 3 games was last weekend. Wow. Jamal Charles on the ground, 27 for $127, and Dwayne Bowe, 4 for 64. Right now, Cleveland, 6.5-point favorite at home, 37.5 total.
Going with the Browns, baby. I like Brandon Whedon. Trent Richardson's been running hard last couple weeks, and this boy Josh Gordon, he can just flat out fly. I like him. Whedon and Gordon are starting to heat up a little bit as receiver quarterback combo. But I like Trent Richardson on the ground. I think Kansas City's going to have a hard time stopping that run game. Trent Richardson is a hard runner. I'm liking Cleveland to cover, and I'm going under the total.
Yeah, I dig it too. What do you predict out of the 2 running backs fantasy-wise, Trent Richardson versus Jamal Charles? Who will have the better fantasy day?
Here again, since Jamal Charles is on your team, I'm going to say Trent Richardson will have a stellar day, and Jamal Charles is going to break both his legs.
Oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. He's a team player. Next up, boys, we're going to Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Steelers play host to the, lost 6 in a row San Diego Chargers. Yikes, this team
North Turner,
falling apart. Last week for the Chargers, Phillip, 26 for 48, 280, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, 1 pick in the end zone with like 8 seconds to go to chance to tie the game. Oh, tough year for Phillip Rivers. Ryan Matthews, 9 for 26. Addison, man, you were right on point with the anti-Ryan Matthews pick. I've supported him. You can't support him anymore. It's week 13. It's time to cut bait on this.
Steelers will draft, or Chargers will draft or sign a free agent running back, big name free agent running back to get somebody in there. Ryan Matthews is gone. Wow. He is a scrub. He sucks. Sorry, he's had 620 yards, averaging 4 yards carry with 1 touchdown all year. I'm telling you, you can't trust him. He's hurt. He's been hurt half his career. I've been on this bandwagon. Why don't you listen to Addison?
Because you never make the playoffs, except for this year. At last,
I have been in a championship game before, Chad.
Yeah, that was like an 83. All right, fella, we're going to Pittsburgh. Now let's talk about a little bit about Pittsburgh. Last weekend, you said there's no way they can beat the Ravens.
Charlie Batch had this. Look, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, and you know what? It shined on Charlie Batch's old, decrepit butt this week.
He played, and you talk about playing with emotion. The whole Pittsburgh team rallied around Charlie Batch with a couple turnovers, but they got the job done at the end. Did you see Charlie Batch crying, hugging Ben Roethlisberger?
You should be a judge on the X Factor. Did you say like, "Oh, that was fantastic"? Come on, man!
I get touched by emotional, passionate things.
It's freaking football, dude. It's football.
There's emotion in football, my friend.
Say it like that one more time.
There's emotion in football.
God Lord.
Last week for the Steelers, Charlie Batch, 25 for 36, 276, and a touchdown. Played with his heart on his sleeve. He was incredible. Jonathan Dwyer, running back, 16 for 49 and a touchdown. Heath Miller, guys, if he's on any waiver wire, I'm sure he's not, but this dude catches at least 5 to 6 balls a game, 50 to 70 yards. He went for 97 and a touchdown.
I love wherever he is. Every time. I love that. That and John Kuhn.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and John Kuhn, I was wanting the ball because
Yep, that is some good stuff. San Diego at Pitt, Addison right now, no line because Ben Roethlisberger could be entering into the. All right, let's go. God, magic hands, help me over here. Good gracious, shoot this dude. Ben Roethlisberger probable for this week's game. As a fantasy owner in the playoffs, would you risk starting Ben Roethlisberger against this San Diego D?
Yeah, if they're going to come back, he needs to come back this week. This is going to be his easiest challenge because you got, I don't know what their schedule is. What they got? Who they got next week?
They play Dallas.
Week after next?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas will rough him up. I would say I would get back in the swing thing with this one. And
2 scenarios: Josh Freeman, Roethlisberger.
Josh Freeman.
Matt Schaub, Roethlisberger.
Schaub.
All right, guys. No line on this game.
Those are your 3 quarterbacks, isn't it? This is just a Chatty's. Addison Fox will pick Chatty's fantasy.
See, ladies and gentlemen, see what I'm doing here? I'm testing him. I'm testing him. All these scenarios, buddy, is me against you. Okay, anyway, we'll see what the Vegas has got the line. I think Pittsburgh will play good at home.
Pittsburgh will win. I think I'll go under the total.
Yeah,
and Pittsburgh to win.
Easily said. Well done. Boom. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. Tennessee at the Andrew Luck Indianapolis Colts. Did you see the
playoff bound game right now?
Yeah.
God, 8-5,
dude. Detroit up 13 with about 3 to go. Luck throws a bomb touchdown. They get the ball back. He drives 90 yards with 57 seconds.
Indianapolis 8-4. How is Indianapolis is 8-4?
You know, this team last year won 1 game.
I know. I can't believe it.
You get the new quarterback in there, Andrew Luck. He's a leader. They follow him. He's just very skilled at what he does, and he leads them all. I mean, they're playoff bound. So anyway, incredible game last week for the Indianapolis Colts against the Detroit Lions. As I mentioned, he led them to a last-second win. 1 second on the clock, touchdown. Luck last week, 391 and 4 touchdowns.
3,600 yards he's done for.
What a rookie year.
Wow.
Vic Ballard on the ground, 9 for 41 and a touchdown. And this T.Y. Hilton, 3rd game in a row, 100 yards. Got to start him if you got him. They are hosting the Tennessee Titans right now. Titans continue to struggle. Last week, who they play, Ad Rock? They played the Texans, lose 24-10. Jake Locker putting up decent fantasy numbers, but he turns the ball over way too much. Last week, he went for 309 and a touchdown. Chris Johnson, after a resurgence kind of the middle of the year, is now kind of falling back down. 13 carries for 51 yards. And Nate Dogg Washington, 3 for 96. Ad Rock.
I like Nate Washington. I like Nate Washington. He's solid.
Dude, he gets you at least 70 yards a game.
I like Nate
At
Washington.
least 70 yards a game. Good flex play in most leagues. Right now, Colts opened up as a 3-point favorite, been bet all the way up to 5.5, total 48. Go ahead. What you got?
All right. I think this game, and this is going to be really bad, I think this game is going to come down to Jeff Fisher. I like Jeff Fisher as a coach. I think Tennessee they're struggling a little bit, but
all right.
You know what? Wait. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jeff Fisher.
Fisher. I'm thinking. I was looking at St. Louis stuff. I was thinking totally. My bad. That was my bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Fisher coaches a different team.
I'm sitting there looking at the game ahead. I'm sitting there looking at St. Louis stats. Oh yeah, I love Jeff Fisher.
Magic Hands, can you replace Addison in the booth, and we'll let Addison go get on the wheels?
Wow, I'm so here looking at St. Louis stuff before you got talking about this game.
Okay, now let's get back.
My bad.
Titans.
Yes, Titans. My wrong game. I was on the wrong game. My bad.
Let's go.
Yes, I think Chris Johnson is come back to earth. I like Jake Locker's got some he's got some fight in him, but I think the Colts right now are one of the hottest teams in football. You got the Broncos, the Bengals, and the Colts, and I'm thinking Indianapolis can pull this out, and I think they're going to cover, and I think the total is going to go way over. On top of that.
Yep, I hear what you're saying there.
That was a horrible game.
We might need to erase that one, Magic Hands.
Let's go back. That was horrible.
I'm going to hit you a couple of scenarios so maybe you can redeem yourself here.
Okay.
Would you start Donnie Avery? You know, he's the guy, the third kind of wide receiver for the Colts.
He's dinged up a little bit.
He's a little banged up. Would you start, let's say, him or Nate Washington? That's a great flex question for this game specifically. If you've got him, would you start him?
The way Luck's playing, I'm starting Donnie Avery, even a little dinged up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think T.Y. Hilton is a must-start wide receiver, too.
He's everywhere. He's across the middle. He's down the sideline. He's everywhere.
And Reggie Wayne, you're going to start him, too.
Well, he's got 1,200 yards receiving. Yeah, you're going to start him.
So Colts got it covered on your wide receiver spots here for fantasy football. On the Tennessee side, Chris Johnson, probably RB2 right now. Nate Washington, maybe a flex play. That's basically all you're going to get out of this game fantasy-wise for Tennessee. I'm with Addison. Let's go Indianapolis minus the 5 and way over the total 48. Let's look for a shootout. All right, Ad-Rock, next game, 1 o'clock kick. We're going to Jacksonville. Now, this game is interesting.
We need to be going to St. Louis since I was talking about Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, we're going to edit that part. All right, we're going to Jacksonville. Now, what they were saying earlier this week is, Tim Tebow is from the Florida area, right?
Right.
Quarterback controversy galore when it comes to the
Not
Jets
right now. No, I don't think there's one at all right now.
You don't think so?
No, McElroy came in and did a great job. I like...
Did you hear what they announced about 20 minutes before we posted the show today?
What?
Sanchez is going to start. They said Sanchez, which is baffling to me. But anyway, Sanchez is going to start. They've also said this. Jacksonville, they normally cover the upper deck, with tarps because they don't sell it out. They said if Tebow were to play, they were going to sell all their seats. It'd be like the first sellout in Jacksonville forever just to watch Tebow. The dude's going to be inactive. I don't even think he's not even going to dress out. So poor Jacksonville, chance to sell out a bunch of seats. Now they got to leave the tarps on.
Look, as bad as we talk about the Jets.
Yes.
They're 5-7. They're not that. That's not. And I mean, there's some other teams that we talk.
5-7. You think that's maybe for at college? That's a good record, but for most teams, that's not a good.
Yeah, but the ways anybody's been bashing, you think that they'd be worse than Buffalo. Miami. We talked how Miami things were good. They're 5-7.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's not good.
You got the Patriots in their division. That's the only reason. Everybody else, they're the same. They're even Steve with everybody else.
The Jets, though, were supposed to be a playoff team this year.
True. The expectations has hurt them on the right.
Exactly. Right now, Jets 2.5-point favorite on the road, over under 38.5. I mean, will anybody watch this game? And if they do, will anybody score in this game? This game is setting up to be a big, big dud. Would you agree?
Oh, I totally agree.
Fantasy-wise, for the Jets, maybe Sean Green action. He had 100 yards last week. Maybe you put him in. You can't start a quarterback or a receiver for the Jets. Jacksonville, MJD still out of the game. You got Rashad Jennings getting the carries, but Cecil Shorts, wide receiver 2, good spot to play in this game. Right now, I would lean Jets minus the 2.5, and let's stay way under the total 38. These teams can't score. This one is a do not watch on my list on Sunday. Next up, buddy, we're going to Minnesota, where the Minnesota Vikings will play host to the Chicago Bears. Last week, let's check it out here. Chicago Bears. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about the Vikings. Last week, they lose 23-14 against the Packers. Ponder continues to struggle. It's only $119 through the air and a touchdown. AP, wow. MVP candidate, no doubt. 21 carries for 210 and a touchdown. Coming off the ACL, is he back? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Kyle Rudolph through the air, 6 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown. They will be playing host to these Chicago Bears. Last week for the Bears, they got shocked by the Seahawks at home, 23-17. Jay Cutler, 233 and 2 touchdowns. Solid fantasy numbers, but a very risky start. Matt Forte fighting the ankle injury goes 21 for 66 yards, and Brandon Marshall continues to be an all-pro wide receiver, probably number 2 on my list. 10 receptions for $165. Chicago traveling to Minnesota. Can Chicago cinch up this playoff spot?
I think they can, but I think that's all they'll get in the playoffs. I don't think much of Chicago as a team right now. They're playing halfway decent, even though they lost to Seattle last week. But I think they're a one-dimension team. Forte and Bush have been in my mind, have been a bust, combining for a total of only 8 touchdowns so far for the year. I will say this: if they can get Adrian Peterson going early, this could be a long day for the Chicago defense. And if you take the Chicago's defense away from this, then I think Minnesota's really got a chance. But they have to get AP going early. The ground game, you got Percy Harvin, and the surprise tight end of the year in the league, in my mind, Kyle Rudolph. Has been coming through. Did you see some of the grabs he made?
Yeah, he's good, man.
The boy's good. And so if Minnesota gets started early, they could jump out on the Chicago Bears and surprise them.
Couple of things just to take note of, ladies and gentlemen. Percy Harvin is questionable for this Minnesota Vikings offense. If Percy is in there, I'm with Adrock. If they can get little AP, Percy Harvin, if he plays.
Little AP. There ain't nothing little about AP.
Or a little bit of AP, let's say. Then I think Minnesota can hang in this game, too. Right now, the number Vegas has got it set at Chicago -3 on the road, over under 39.5. Dude, I'm leaning to Minnesota right here to maybe pull off an upset at home as long as they establish AP early and run against this defense. Oh, Brian Urlacher, did you hear? They announced today, out for the dang season. That's a big blow for Chicago.
Yeah, he was having an all-pro season.
He's having a great, great year. So big news to hey, watch this Chicago team, dude. They lose a couple, and they might miss on the playoffs right now. They're 8-4.
But they're so one-dimensional. I mean, you take away Cutler, you take away Brandon Marshall, where's the Chicago Bears?
They ain't got nothing.
No.
They got nothing. Yep, so I'm with you here. I'm going to lean Minnesota plus the 3, and I'm going to stay under the total 39.5. All right, Panther fans. Here we go. You're up next. The Atlanta Falcons come calling to Charlotte, North Carolina.
The Battle of 85.
That's right. The Battle of I-85. It is right around the corner. Atlanta travels to Carolina for this 1 o'clock kick. Last week, Atlanta beat the Saints 23-13. Matt Ryan, 165 and a touchdown. Not Matt Ryan numbers, but Fantasy-wise, you're going to start him against the Panthers, I believe, Ad Rock.
Yeah.
Michael Berner, the Turner, 12 for 83 and a touchdown. Very nice, very solid fantasy numbers. And Tony Gonzalez continues to get it done, 4 for 58 and a touchdown. The Charlotte Panthers, the Carolina Panthers will play host to these Atlanta Falcons. This has always been a big rivalry.
This is a Panthers rivalry.
It is. This
It
is their
used to
big
be the
rivalry.
Jacksonville Jaguars game in the league. Now
Exactly.
it's the battle of I-85.
Completely agree. Last week for the Panthers, Newton does it through the air, 232 and 3 touchdowns, and on the ground, 7 for 78. He put up 40-plus fantasy numbers. Cam Newton is starting to come around a little bit when we're talking fantasy football.
But, yeah, we're talking fantasy football.
In reality, football, they lost.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're 3-9.
To the Chiefs.
To the Chiefs. That's not good. Steve Smith had a great game. 5 receptions for $120 and a touchdown.
Hey, Chad.
Yo.
He's on my team.
Which means next week he will do nothing against
So
me,
is
right?
Michael Turner.
Oh, so this is a big game for you. This
Yeah.
Atlanta-Carolina
Oh, yeah.
game is a big fantasy
Michael
game
Turner,
for you.
700 yards, 7 touchdowns for a year. Good, solid first-round pick.
Well, with this minutes of
Great first-round pick.
with these fantasy scenarios on the table, Addison, tell me your thought about this game. Right now, Atlanta's a 3.5-point favorite, over under 47.
I think just like everybody else has done all year, I think the Turner and Jaquiz Rodgers are going to run wild on this defense. This defense is hurting, to say the least. And they've lost. I think they lost one of the cornerbacks last week. So this is going to be a big game. I think Julio Jones and Roddy White are going to have monster games. But Atlanta, like they did against New Orleans, they will come out, establish a run, first drive it right down their throat, and then the passing game will take over.
Steve Smith, a starter here, fantasy-wise?
Yes.
You starting him?
Oh yeah. I'm starting.
Okay. Getting all the information out, ladies and gentlemen, just sucking it right out of them.
What's it matter? What does it matter?
I
if
just want to
start?
know what your lineup's going to be.
You
so
can
I
look on the freaking site.
I know,
and look.
but you might switch it up on me or something. You know, you might
I'm
play
crazy.
some confusing
I'm crazy.
games.
I'm crazy like that.
I'm with you. I think Carolina, they're playing better. Their defense still stinks. Their offense is playing better. I like a ton of points. Fantasy and reality, the over-under is 47.5. I'm
over.
Flying way over this total. I think Carolina might be able to keep this game close. The line's 3.5.
Through the first quarter, they'll keep it close.
I'll lean a little bit to the Panthers, but I think Atlanta wins the game in the end. All right, fella, we're going to Tampa Bay, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers host the Philadelphia Eagles right now, or last week for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Whew, Philadelphia has lost 6 in a row.
It doesn't matter. All right, look, all we need to talk about in Philadelphia is one thing.
What's that?
His name is Bryce Brown. That's all we need to discuss. That is it. That's the only thing going on in Philadelphia. Now, I will say this. Nick Foles, now he's worked on his progressions a little bit. He doesn't wait to throw the ball, which against Carolina, about got picked about 9 times. They should have had 3 pick sixes easily against Nick Foles. But last week he worked on it. He held the ball and said, look, either you throw it or you don't throw it. One of the two. Don't think about it and think, well, we'll go back over here. Don't do that. You'll get picked in the NFL. You can do it and get away in college. But my boy, Bryce Brown, is looking in 2 games, Chad, 488 yards and 4 touchdowns. And guess what? You're going against him this week.
Do you worry at all about
None.
LaShawn McCoy coming back into the mix?
He's
Do you worry at all?
concussed.
But do you worry about him coming back into the mix?
We talked about this on the phone the other day. There will be riots. The only thing positive going on right now in Philadelphia is Nick Foles and
Who
Bryce
has
Brown.
been announced the starter for the rest of the year.
Yes, and what's it good? And so they may be trying to, and Bryce Brown. Now, if they pull a rookie, they've got nothing to lose for the rest of the season. What they have with LaShawn McCoy now is good, solid trade bait. So if they pull Bryce Brown, who's put up those 2 numbers in those 2 games, on sheer behind an offensive line, let me ask you a question. Why is Michael Vick not playing?
Because he got concussed.
Because of why?
His offensive line.
Right. And so you have this rookie running for 500 yards in 2 games and 4 touchdowns, and they're going to take him out?
Yeah.
There will be riots in the streets of Philadelphia.
Yeah, there's a reason why Bryce Brown was the #1 high school recruit coming out of high school about 5 years ago. The dude has got mad talent. Not only strong, like AP strong, but fast.
They said he in high school. They made him example. Made him look like an example of Barry Sanders, a mini Barry Sanders coming out of high school. And if he hadn't transferred from school to school to school, they said he would have been. I mean, the numbers he put up in 1 or 2 years at some schools was just stupid.
Yeah.
So.
Dude's got a lot of talent. There's a lot of fantasy points in this game, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to start Doug, the muscle hamster, Martin, of course, for Tampa Bay, and Vincent Jackson, and even Mike Williams on the outside. That's a WR2, or maybe in a flex.
Oh, wait. Who was that, Mike Williams?
Yeah. Are you starting him?
You're playing him too, Chad.
Are you starting Michael?
Yeah.
Well, good. I think he'll have a terrible day. On the Philadelphia side, Bryce Brown, you got to put him in your lineup, guys. This dude is a running back one. He could be the best. The last probably 6 games of the season, he could be the number 1 running back.
All right. So if McCoy's traded, here's a question: McCoy's traded from Philadelphia. Bryce Brown, first round pick going into next year. If he keeps going with his pace,
absolutely.
First-round pick.
Actually put Bryce Brown in a category with Trent Richardson, that type of running back. So I'm talking about top 6 pick overall. I'm talking about
really.
If Bryce Brown gets the starting on the field, the dude has got all the potential in the world to be.
And he's running behind such a horrible line. Yeah. The only reason Michael Vick, who was one of the best agile quarterbacks, or I'd say athletes in the league, would you agree he was one of the best? I want to say football player.
Yeah, athletes, absolutely.
And he got concussed because the offensive line is, and this kid is just blowing. Yeah. It's Chad. Come on, dude, get the fuck.
Hey, what?
Is that Vic?
That's Bryce Brown, actually. Okay. Hey, Bryce, call you back.
All right, now look.
All right, let's move on. Right now, Tampa Bay, 7.5.
I really enjoy talking about my team.
Your team stinks. 7.5 point favorite. Philadelphia, 47 total. Addison obviously likes Philadelphia in this game because he loves Bryce Brown. I'm going to lean the other way. I like Tampa Bay a little bit in this game, but a ton of points over the total. Let's fly over the 47 at Rock.
Let's do it.
Next up, buddy, St. Louis traveling to Buffalo.
Oh, here's my Jeff Fisher game.
Here, are you ready to talk about the coach now? Are you ready, buddy? Last week for the Bills hold on to beat the Jaguars 34-18. Fitzy, 9 for 17, $112.
The smart kid.
He did throw for 2 touchdowns. Fantasy-wise, he's your quarterback, too. You can't start him. On the ground, great game for your man, Freddie Jackson, 25 for $109. He got more carries than C.J. Spiller. They confuse me with what they do.
You don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, here's my confusion. I'm going to tell you. Do you start Fred Jackson? Do you start Fred Jackson against the Rams defense? Which the Rams defense is pretty good.
Playing good, man. Playing good. That's a great – what's your other options? Go ahead and give them to me.
Michael Turner, Bryce Brown.
Can you start him as your flex?
Could. Take away Torrey Smith.
I'm not going to tell you what to do because I'm playing you. But anyway,
right.
it's a tough call.
It's so many weapons. Like you just talked about, Torrey Smith going to have a hell of a game. Mike Williams, you got a must start for Mike Williams. So, I mean, I have always must starts. Who do I sit? Who do I sit?
You'll make the wrong decision and lose like you always do. These Buffalo Bills will be playing the Rams. Last week, the Rams shocked the Niners 16-13.
Shocked the world.
Sam Bradford, 221, respectable, no touchdowns. Steven Jackson, they gave him the ball 21 carries for 48 yards. And we called it here at Rock. Chris Givens, 11 receptions for 92 yards.
Wow.
If you picked him up on the fantasy on the waiver wire last week and started him, he gave you about 20 points. I mean, what a game.
Everybody's been talking about Danny Amendola.
Yeah.
Givens is only 25 yards behind him already.
Wow.
In the last, 2 games?
Yeah, he's only played
and 3 times. Yeah.
Season.
Givens is the man right now in St. Louis.
Yeah, good job, Givens.
He looks like he's like 12 years old, too.
Yeah. Buffalo right now, 3-point favorite, total 42. Where are you leaning at, Rock?
I'm going to – you know what? I have a soft spot for the smart kid. You know how I like Fitzy. But St. Louis, with the way they played last week against San Fran, and my boy, Zerline, with the leg of steel.
Good gracious.
I mean, I'm going to go with St. Louis in this game.
All right, man. I'm going to lean a little bit opposite to you. I agree with you. St. Louis playing really good ball right now. Buffalo at home plays a lot better than they do on the road. I think Buffalo probably gets it done at home, but the big thing here to think about. The
difference is the coach, Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, you got it right that time. St. Louis D, who I picked up a couple weeks ago and started in the last 2 weeks, has scored a touchdown in the last 2 weeks and gave me 21 fantasy points. I like St. Louis's defense in here. I think it will be defensive struggle. So let's go under the total 42. Must starts for Buffalo. I will say Spiller, and I'm going to say Fred Jackson. I mean, I think you got to start him. He's the potential to get 100 yards.
You look at the carries, even though, look at the carries. You got 137 to 106 for the year. C.J. Spiller's had a couple long runs.
Yeah.
But I think Fred Jackson is more the workhorse. But I mean,
yeah, you're right.
It's right now. It's almost a tandem. Fred Jackson putting up some fantasy points the last couple weeks. He may be a start over turn this week.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. So let's go. I'm leaning Buffalo minus the 3 and way under the total 42, a defensive struggle. Next up, Ad Rock, you've been waiting on this one, buddy. Dallas Cowboys come to your hometown.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games.
The Cincinnati Bengals will play host to those Dallas Cowboys. Addison is excited about this
one.
Can
we remix that? Make that sound a little better. Put that through the sound.
Please do. There's no Axl Rose for sure. Last week for the Bengals, they win 20-13 against the Chargers. Andy Dalton, 25 for 39, 211 and a touch. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, saving the best for last. This dude has played pretty good the last 3 games. 25 carries, $118, and A.J. Green, your all-pro wide receiver, 9 receptions for 85 yards. He's automatic. He's automatic. He's a must-start in every fantasy league. They will be playing host to the Dallas Cowboys. Dude, this is a big game for the Cincinnati Bengals to stay in the playoff hunt.
Lost 4 in a row, won 4 in a row. And we have to stay on pace with Mr. AARP and Steelers up there, Charlie Batch. Right. If we can do this, if we can get another 2-3 wins, dude, I think if we can have 2-3 wins, we're playoff bound.
You got a shot.
We're playoff bound.
Talking about playoff wins, the Dallas Cowboys, who will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals, they are 6-6, right in the middle of the playoff hunt too. Last week they win 38-33.
No, Steelers are 7-5.
Yeah,
not 6-6, 7-5.
I'm talking about the Cowboys.
No,
Cowboys are 6-6.
You said Steelers.
Well, Cowboys are playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
We're not talking about Steelers, Chad. We're talking about the Cowboys.
Always on my mind. Tony Romo, 303 and 3 touchdowns last week. DeMarco Murray back in the lineup after being out for 4 weeks. 23 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Guys, I think you got to put him back in your lineups if you've been benching him.
Got to.
It's time to put him back in. He could get you to a Super Bowl. Jason Witten, 6 for $108. Ad Rock, right now, Vegas likes the Cincinnati Bengals. -3 against
right
the Cowboys.
Now. I can't believe that.
45.5.
We are favored against the boys.
At home. You should be.
I'm going with the Bengals. I mean, the way the Red Rifle's been playing right now, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis is running like a man possessed. A.J. Green is all over the field, all pro. There's still some discombobulation. I think the defense, the only suspect right now is the Cincinnati's defense against his offense. But, Tony Romo has been known to throw out some eggs before. So I'm thinking the Cincinnati's going to edge this one out, take the points, Cincy in the points. And
you got to give the points, though.
I'm sorry, give the points. And then over the total.
Yep, I think Cincinnati Bengals defense is playing a lot better than they did at the beginning of the year. Last couple of games held some teams to 13 to 17 points. I lean a little bit here for Cincinnati as well. Dallas, you cannot trust this team. You don't know what Romo is going to show up, what defense is going to show up.
I can't believe they're 6-6. I really can't. As bad as the debacles you've seen, I cannot believe they're 6. With the injuries they've had, and they're still 6-6.
Right.
It's starting to lead me to believe that Jason Garrett may actually know what he's doing.
I can't believe that, though, buddy. I think Jason Garrett got to make it to the playoffs and prove it to me before I can give him my recommendation. But in this game for Cincinnati, I'll lean -3 right now for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I will go over the total with you, 45.5. It should be right about 46 to 47 points there. A lot of fantasy numbers to be had in this one, too. Next up, my friend, we're going to San Francisco, where the San Francisco 49ers will play host to the Miami Dolphins. Last weekend for the San Francisco 49ers, they lose a heartbreaker 16-13. Colin Kaepernick, who everybody probably put in their lineups last week, 208 through the air, 84 on the ground, kind of RG3-like numbers. Pretty good start for the second-year quarterback for San Fran. Michael Crabtree continues to impress, 7 for $101. They will be playing host to those Dolphins. Last week, Dolphins lose 23-16. Ryan Tannehill, obviously rookie quarterback, still struggling with the rookie mistakes. Throws for 186, but 2 interceptions. Reggie Bush on the ground, 64, and Brian Hartline, 5 for 84. Before we get into this one, Ad Rock, who would you start, Crabtree or Hartline fantasy-wise?
I like Hartline better. Hartline, they go deep balls for him more so than Crabtree. San Francisco's offense is a little more conservative than the Miami. Miami's got nothing to lose with this matchup. But I like Hartline. Hartline, they will sling that ball deep any time of the week. So the fantasy point-wise, I think you have to take a bigger risk, but I like Hartline more.
Gotcha. Right now, Vegas got the number. San Francisco is a 10-point favorite at home, over under 39. What do you lean there?
Under the total and no. Under the points, under the total. No, what am I saying? I want to take Miami. I like Miami. Yeah, now Miami plus 10 and under the total.
I like it too. You heard it here. Let's go Miami plus the 10 and under the 39. Next up, bro, New Orleans plays against the New York Giants. This is a big matchup fantasy-wise for me and you. You will be starting Eli Manning as your quarterback. I will be starting in another league, Drew Brees as my quarterback. Ad-Rock,
Poor
big
Drew
game.
Brees. He was on suicide watch all this week after five picks, no touchdowns.
Worst game I've ever seen Drew Brees play. Would you agree?
I would totally agree.
He never plays like that.
Totally agree. Well, I think two of the picks weren't. Well, two of the picks I don't think were his fault, but it is what it is. Still, Drew Brees. 3,700 yards for the year, 31 touchdowns. Still fantastic numbers. I'm liking Eli. Eli's numbers are getting a little more respectable. 3,200 yards for the year, 16 touchdowns. Had a good game this last game. The penalties killed him. Yeah. He could have had a huge game with the penalties. He's been targeting Martellus Bennett a little more. Akeem Nicks, Victor Cruz, Hickson. I think Hickson may be back this week. I'm not sure. But a lot of weapons. Ahmad Bradshaw and rookie Dave Wilson ran the ball marvelously. I like New York to destroy New Orleans Saints in New York.
Yeah, I like a little bit of New York right now. After the Saints lost on last Thursday to the Falcons, I think their bubble's been deflated. That was their last chance to kind of stay in the playoff hunt. They lose the game, so really not that much to play for. Addison, the total is 53. Dude, I think this thing flies over. I'm seeing like 70 points in this game.
I can see that one. I can totally see that
Drew
one.
Brees, 3 touchdowns. Darren Sproles, maybe a couple. Eli throws for 4. Victor Cruz has 2. This could be a fantasy lover's dream right now.
Guess who I'm starting, Chad? Chad, guess who I'm starting? Chad, guess who I'm starting?
Colin Kaepernick. Should be a real good game. Addison, this one might decide the winner of our fantasy contest. So you guys stay tuned to this one. Right now, Giants -5, over under 53. Let's go over the total and the Giants minus the 5. Next up, bro, Seattle playing host to the Arizona Cardinal. Last week, the Arizona Cardinal put up the stinker of the year. Did you see this?
Yep.
Start the rookie quarterback, Ryan Lindley, goes 10 for 31, 72 yards. I want to say he had 4 picks.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That.
Their leading rusher, 1 carry, 40 yards. Leading receiver, 1 reception, 23 yards. They had 3 first downs the whole game, Ad-Rock. 3 first downs the whole game. This offense is anemic. They are traveling to Seattle, or Seattle, like we mentioned before, they put that big shocker on the Bears. Russell Wilson continues to impress, man. He just makes the right decision, limits the turnovers. 293 and 2 touchdowns. Great game by the ex-Wolfpacker. Marshawn Lynch, 19 for 87 and a touchdown. And Sidney Rice, I don't know do you start Sidney Rice 99 yards and a touchdown? He seems to always get at least about five receptions a game.
I will say this defense does play halfway. For the amount they get beat on, this defense is halfway decent.
You talking about Arizona's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I wouldn't start Sidney Rice this game. No, I like the Cardinals defense. Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I like the Cardinals defense. It's for the amount they get beat on, they've stayed healthy. I like them.
You know what's interesting? That's a really good point. Vegas has got the number. Total is normally the smallest total you'll see is like 37, 38. Most of them are in the 40s. 34-point total. So Vegas really likes both of these defenses, Seattle and Arizona. Seattle's a 10-point favorite right now. I think fantasy-wise, you can't start anybody on Arizona, but you could take both defenses.
They put it at 34?
34. That's
I'd take
low
the over. If they're setting that low, I'm going over on that one. If it's 34.
Yeah, that's very low.
That's too low. I'm seeing like 36, 37 points.
Yeah. Fantasy-wise, as we mentioned before, Marshawn Lynch must start. Russell Wilson, you can slide him in, dude. The dude's playing great. Against this Arizona D, though, as Addison mentioned, their defense is pretty strong. Both defenses are startable here fantasy-wise. I'm going to lean Seattle minus the 10. I'm going to go under the total of 34, though. Go ahead, Eric.
I was going to say, you know what? Sidney Rice, but there's no reason not to start Golden Tate.
He played great last game.
Dude, he's got 500 yards. Sidney Rice has only got 650, but both of them have 7 touchdowns. They're averaging about 15 yards a catch. Yeah. You can swap any of those out right now.
Yeah. Good point.
That's right. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Way to go. Awesome. Next game, bro. It would have been an incredible game last year. This team has kind of fallen off a little bit, but the Detroit Lions are going to travel to Lambeau Field to play those Green Bay Packers.
Frozen tundra.
Yes, last week we talked about this game earlier. The Detroit Lions, they just can't get out of their own way. They're dominating the game against the Colts. Give up 14 points in the last 3 minutes. Matt Stafford, nice fantasy numbers, 313 and 2 touchdowns, but they just cannot close the deal.
Is he leading the league? I think he's leading the league in passing.
He is. You're right. And I know he's leading the league in attempts, too. The dude just throws it like 50 times.
534 attempts for 3,742 yards.
Yeah, he's
only 16 touchdowns, where Drew Brees has 32.
Exactly. Calvin Johnson through the air continues to be all-world, 13 for $171 and a touchdown. As we mentioned, they are traveling to Lambeau last week. Lambeau, those Green Bay Packers.
1,400 yards.
Who does?
Calvin Johnson's got 1,400 yards.
He's on pace to break some single-season receiving record.
Wow. I mean, his touchdown total blows.
Way down. Yeah, it's way down.
But, good Lord, I've been looking at these stats all day, and everybody's like 1,100, 1,200. He's got 4. Wow.
In a PPR league, Calvin Johnson, whoa. I mean, he's just
86 receptions.
Incredible.
Yep.
Getting to the Green Bay Packers here. Last week, Aaron Rodgers, 27 for 35, 286, and a touchdown, but nowhere near the numbers from last year. Remember his fantasy numbers last year, Ad Rock? The dude was just through the roof. He's come back to earth. On the ground, James Stark, 15 for 66 and a touchdown, and Randall Cobb, receiving-wise, 6 for 62.
Are you starting him?
Absolutely. Okay. Listen to this. You saw that Jordy Nelson is out, right? Yeah. So another one of these Green Bay receivers. This is some good fantasy news. You got Greg Jennings coming back. Coming back. You got Randall Cobb going to take a bigger role in it now too.
No, because he'll be taking the bench because Jennings is back.
But Jordy Nelson is out.
It doesn't matter.
Yes. Anyway,
no, they're going to sit him.
Randall Cobb to me must start. Right now, Vegas got the number. Green Bay is a 7-point favorite at home. Total 51. Ad.
No, I think I'm going to take Detroit with the points, and I will go 51. I'll go over the total.
Yeah. I'm going to lean over the total, too. I can see a lot of points here. Both defenses are not playing up to their game. Detroit's giving up like 28 points a game now. Green Bay not much better. I think Green Bay probably gets it done at Lambeau, though. I can see Green Bay winning by 10, so I'm going to go Green Bay minus the 7, and let's go over the 51. Last but not least, biggest game of the weekend. The Houston Texans, I think they're 11-1.
They are 11-1 versus 9-3 Patriots.
Against a 9-3 Patriots. This is Monday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen.
Game of the year so far.
Absolutely. It does not get any bigger than this. Last week for the Texans, they win 24-10 over the Titans. Matt Schaub puts up 207 and 2 touchdowns. Matt Schaub, starting fantasy quarterback in your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Justin Forsett on the ground. Surprisingly, no Arian Foster as the leading rusher.
Andre Johnson is news when I came in. He pulled a hammy in practice on Monday.
Are you just saying that because he's on my team?
Yes, I am.
You are such a son of a gun.
That look of like, what? That's my whole team.
These Houston Texans will be playing the New England Patriots. Patriots offense playing really, really great. Last week didn't play as well, only put up 23 points against the Dolphins D. Brady went for 238 and a touchdown. Stephen Ridley, 19 for 71 and a touchdown. Wes Welker catches 12 balls for $103. Did you hear, though, Julian Edelman out for the year, broken foot. So that's one weapon that will be away from Tom Brady in this game.
So he's lost Edelman and Gronkowski now.
And Gronkowski.
Wow.
God, so
good question. That's a
good question.
Well, they got they brought in they re-signed
Dante Stallworth. Signed him yesterday.
So he's a speedster. He fits the role.
Yes.
No, I don't see it slows him down. Even though I will say this, Brady got worked.
He did.
I mean,
he didn't play
worked against. Would they play Miami?
They play Miami.
Yeah, I mean he got sacked like four or five times, which you don't see Brady on his back hardly at all.
He threw a bad pick, man. Like all Brady had to do.
So you know why I take this back? I'm gonna take this back. Houston's D. I think the Houstons. I'm gonna call it. The Houstons are gonna lay the smackdown on the New England Patriots.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Addison says the Houston Texans.
Look, that J.C. Watt led defense. That J.C. Watt defense, and you have. I mean, some of those corners. I wouldn't necessarily shut down corners.
They're good. They're
good. Nice. But they're not good shut. But I think with the injuries of Gronkowski, look, Hernandez steps right in that. But Edelman. Those are the players that make New England who they are. Mm-hmm. Those role players. And you take a couple of those away, I think that there are a couple of chinks in that armor. So I'm saying Houston's going to lay the smackdown on
I can see this being a very highly competitive game. Houston, great defense. Their offense can score with anybody. New England's offense is top of the food chain. I'm gonna go over the total. Lean here. A lot of reality points, a ton of fantasy points. I love everybody for Houston offensively and New England's offense. Just like you said, they're gonna missing a couple pieces, but they can fill them in. And I'm gonna lean Houston too, man. I think 4 points is too much to give up to this team, so I'm gonna go Houston plus the 4, and let's go over the total. Addison, one question here. Brandon Lloyd, who's been an enigma all year, you probably drafted him in the 3rd or 4th round. The dude has not shown up with the injuries to Gronkowski and now with Edelman. Will he finally do anything? This is his chance to shine. Brady looked at him. He had 1 target last week. 1 target. Does he get more this game? This is good fantasy knowledge here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
It's to the point. I was waiting. Yes.
I think Brandon Lloyd gets more looks too. He's too much of a weapon not to look his way.
True.
And especially they're going to need him against the Houston Texans. So
that's true.
If you got Brandon Lloyd, maybe start him as your flex. All right, Ad Rock, that wraps up the Fantasy 45, fastest 45 seconds in fantasy football.
Man, that was like an hour and 5 minutes.
You know what? Let's take so we can catch our breath. Let's take a quick break and thank our sponsor.
All right.
Main Cellar City Club, Hickory's premier music venue, is the place to go for music events, wedding dinners or receptions, company retreats, reunions, and more. Contact Main Cellar at 828-345-6246 or find us on Facebook and Twitter for all your entertainment updates.
All right, Ad Rock, we are back, buddy. Not really much else to say injury-wise. Everybody knows who's on the injury report. Waiver wires, typically most waiver wires right now will not you can still pick up some people, but if they're good, they're gone. Yep. So with that being said, buddy, I wish you the best of luck.
No, you don't. Why are you just blatantly lying?
You're right, I am. But are we going to get together and watch this, or what are we going to do?
Well, you have some prior engagements.
I do. My little girl's turning 4, so I've got her birthday party on Sunday.
Get your party straight, man. Fancy football, your daughter's birthday.
I'm going to have headphones in the whole time listening to the games.
You're such a douche.
Jennifer, I hope you didn't hear that.
You're such a douche.
Yeah. But anyway, Ad Rock, man, it's been a great, great year here at the Fantasy Formula. This will be our last episode. So let's say thank you. I mean, think about what we did this year. What a huge increase of listeners.
We are the are we the number one show on the mesh?
In this time spot between 10 and 10:15, we are the number one spot on Wednesday mornings.
We are the number one. Now, are there any other? Let me ask this. Let's ask Magic Hands right here. Are there other shows? Are there any other providers for iTunes in Western North Carolina? So we are the number one podcast in Western North Carolina at this present time.
That are airing right now.
We are the number one podcast in Western Carolina for the last 3 months. So in this demographic,
yes,
we are number one.
Addison, man, pat yourself on the back, dude.
That's right.
Yeah,
Chad, pat me on the back for bringing you in. Come on, thank hook your brother up, Chad.
Well, who we need to thank our listeners. And thank you so much, our fans. Our I
think we got up to almost 70, a little over 7,500 downloads for the year. So over 7,500 people listen to our show.
Wow, very impressive. So we thank you, fantasy fanatics out there
in 15 countries.
Wow. Unbelievable. And hopefully we'll just continue to grow. So with that being said, buddy, we'll thank our sponsor one more time. Thanks to the Main Cellar City Club. And let's also thank the Greater Hickory Classic who sponsored us most of the year.
Jimmy Corral, baby.
Two great places. Main Cellar City Club, downtown Hickory, your event concert venue.
Little River Band coming soon.
February. Me and you.
Okay.
Me and you, all right? Hand in hand.
Maybe, since they sponsor the show, maybe we could introduce them.
Wow. That would be really cool.
Hey,
but would they let me sing? Would they let me sing with the Little River Band? That's the question we
Let's
ask.
quit. Let's try to quit boosting your ego, Chet. Chet, would they, Chris? You think they'd let us introduce them? Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can make that happen. So, if you want to see the fantasy formula again, once our show ends, come check us out. The Main Cellar City Club. We might be introducing the Little River Band.
That'd be hot.
That'd be very nice. So, buddy, good luck. Great year.
Hey, good luck.
Magic Hands. Good looking out over there, buddy. Fantasy Fanatics, can't wait to talk to you next year.
Who day, baby?
Peace.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.